The mysterious death of Philadelphia teacher Ellen Greenberg has returned to the headlines. Once again, the city's chief medical examiner has ruled her death a suicide, despite years of public doubt and relentless pressure from her family, who believe she was murdered. This new ruling has reopened old wounds and raised even more questions about justice, truth, and accountability. Back in January 2011, 27-year-old Ellen Greenberg was found dead in her apartment during a snowstorm. The door was locked from the inside. She had 20 stab wounds to her neck, back, head, and chest, plus multiple bruises in different stages of healing. At first, the medical examiner listed her death as a homicide, but after police reviewed the case, that was changed to suicide. Her fiancé, Samuel Goldberg, found her body after forcing the door open. Police said there were no signs of forced entry or a struggle, and Goldberg was never charged. For years, Ellen's parents, Sandy and Josh Greenberg, have fought to overturn that suicide ruling. They hired their own experts, who argued that many of her wounds could not possibly have been self-inflicted. They've also claimed investigators ignored key evidence that pointed toward foul play. In 2025, after a settlement with the city, the medical examiner's office agreed to re-examine Ellen's case. Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Lindsay Simon led a full review and released a 32-page report, once again declaring Ellen's death a suicide. According to Dr. Simon's findings, no DNA from anyone else was found on the knife. She said the pattern of injuries, while strange, did not rule out self-infliction. There was no evidence of a fight inside the apartment, and Ellen's history of anxiety might have played a role in what happened. Ellen's family, however, completely rejects the new report. Their attorney, Joseph Pedraza Jr., called it deeply flawed and accused the examiner of leaving out vital facts and manipulating others to reach a predetermined conclusion. He said the review ignored missing surveillance footage, a 3D reconstruction showing Ellen couldn't have inflicted all her wounds, and multiple bruises that contradict the suicide theory. Pedraza also criticized Dr. Simon for claiming that a stab wound to Ellen's spine was an autopsy artifact, a claim he says every credible expert, including the city's own neuropathologist, disagrees with. In his words, "This report is an embarrassment to the city and an insult to Ellen and her family." He promised to keep pushing for justice beyond Philadelphia. Ellen's story has drawn renewed attention from across the country. A new Hulu docuseries titled Death in Apartment 603, What Happened to Ellen Greenberg, dives deep into the evidence, exploring whether her death was a suicide or a cover-up. A key court hearing is scheduled for October 14, 2025, where Ellen's family will challenge the latest ruling and demand that the case be reopened. 14 years after Ellen Greenberg's death, the mystery still haunts Philadelphia and the nation. 20 stab wounds, a locked apartment, a changed ruling, and a grieving family still searching for truth. The medical examiner says suicide. The family says murder. And as this case moves forward, one thing remains certain: some questions refuse to stay buried.